Good evening and welcome to the Congo Hour. I am your host, Waynna.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of your love and support that you have given us over these last 5 or 6 months since we've been since March. Yeah, we really appreciate all of you and look forward to continuing to be in your living rooms, on your laptops, on your smartphones.
Everything,
it, right?
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
What's going on, Waynna?
Well, I'm excited because we have, Mr. C is back.
Yeah, he came back. He kept his word.
So when he walked through the door, I was
I was surprised
clutching my pearls.
I was surprised. He didn't bring a scale like he said he was going to bring, but he did come. He still wants to have his Sammy's corner. But next time he comes, I'm going to have a scale here for him because he said he's going to stick to healthy eating. He wants to lose some weight.
Oh.
We've been going through this since the Congo Hour started in like 1981. But he said this is the year. 2023 is going to be his year. That's right.
That's all that matters.
Right. So we're going to hold him accountable. We're going to encourage him. We're going to eat healthy right along with him.
As we encourage ourselves, because I plateaued.
I know, me too.
You did?
Yeah, well, we're going to close out the year strong. All three of us.
We're going to start the year off right.
We're going to start now, close out strong, and start strong in January.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
We also have Jessica here.
Yes.
From NerdIt Cares.
You better say
right, got to say the cares part. And she's going to come and just help us all to be a part of NerdIt Cares and explain what they do and what her role is down there. They just had a huge grand opening a few weeks ago. So I'm excited to hear from her, and so we can just learn more about who and what NerdIt Cares is and what they're going to do for the city of Wilmington.
Yes.
Okay. What's going on in your life?
Well, celebrated Amber's birthday last week.
That's right.
That was really nice. Her and her girlfriend Reese, actually, they had the brunch at Oath 84. And it was Mark Reeves' birthday as well.
57.
57
happy birthday, Mark.
years young.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah.
You know we appreciate you.
Yes, most definitely. And my peach cobbler.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, because you brought the first 10.
Oh, yeah.
So you started, you started it all.
Gotta support family.
Yeah, so thank you so
obviously
very
people
much.
love them because you sold more than 10, right?
I did.
Okay, so we're gonna continue to, holidays are right around the corner, so we gotta keep on making sure that we are filling those orders in for Waynna's, what's it called?
Mimi's Sweet Cobblers.
Mimi's Sweet Cobblers. Speaking of Mimi. Yes?
What about it? Oh, Anaya's doing wonderful in school.
Is she? Okay,
yes.
That's good. That's good. That's good to hear. Good to hear.
Okay.
That's
Moving
it?
right along.
That's it. Okay.
That's it for right now.
Okay. You're the boss. I wanted to stop by Amber's, but I was running late. I went to Vegas last weekend to see Adele.
Adele, I was
oh my goodness,
jealous.
It was an awesome show. Probably one of the best shows I've been to. She was very
really.
Yeah, her voice is amazing.
Have you ever been to a Sade concert?
I have.
And hers was better than Sade?
The way that she was very personable with the audience. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
And she put a lot of effort into showing her appreciation. Most artists do, but she went like above and beyond, just showing her appreciation.
Good.
She was just kind of talking and like we were just sitting in her living room. It was cool.
Oh, okay.
And then when she sang, it was just amazing.
She has a beautiful voice.
Yeah, she does. And I was trying to think, Bree and I were trying to think like who can sing with her.
Oh, I do that often.
Yeah.
You can't think of anybody.
I mean, you know me, I love Rochelle Farrell. So I think Rochelle Farrell can sing anybody under the table. But she's not as well known as she should be. But her voice is amazing. But I couldn't think of too many people who could sing with Adele.
Okay, so those that are watching on social media, let us know who you think would sing well with Adele.
Not singing, I guess be on her level.
Right.
Yeah, on her level. Or better, Okay. So when we got back from Vegas, we had to go to the senior ball, the annual Thanksgiving senior ball that the mayor and city council that we throw every year. Of course, that's always an amazing time, always extremely fun getting to dance with all the seniors, and they really look forward to that evening. They get up, they get dressed.
Love you, Trippi.
They get dressed in their Sunday's best.
Yes, they do.
They come sharp, the guys and the ladies.
We'll have to, we'll show some pictures.
Okay. Yeah, we have to, because it's a great event. I mean, they just look forward to it because a lot of them are coming from the high rises. They don't get to get out as much as they want to,
right,
as much as they used to. So it's really just they love it, and the dance floor stayed packed.
I know your mom was on it.
Oh yeah,
Did she get off?
A couple times. But shout out to Tim Dog too, because he was a DJ.
Oh, okay.
So he kept everybody on the dance floor. Played a great mixture of today's music and yesterday's music and yesteryear's music.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Good.
So
I was
shout out.
going to come, but I couldn't leave
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, it was a good weekend though.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
all right, so we're gonna take a quick break, come back with Jessica,
who's our friend,
and NerdIt Cares. That's right. We'll be right back.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
All right, welcome back. We hope that you enjoyed our first opening act.
Yes.
We were off on screen talking about singers who might be able to sing with Adele. Jessica brought up Sade. Sade is like my second favorite artist, so of course I love Sade. I love her music, but I don't think her voice compares to Adele.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it is.
The range.
The range. I mean, yeah, Adele's voice is just so powerful, but Sade's music, it's the music for me, along with her voice.
Yes.
Yeah, so. I mean, Bob Marley's up here, and then
Right.
Sade, and then everybody else. What's up, Jess?
Bob Marley?
Oh yeah, he's my favorite.
You should sing some bars for us.
I can. I wanna love you and treat you right. I'm singing by myself.
You were the one that said that you could sing.
We said short that. You're right.
Yeah, Bob Marley. Bob Marley because of his music and the message.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why he's a notch above Sade. Like I love Sade to death, but like his message was just
Yeah,
it's
he was
still
beyond
relevant.
his time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But what's going on? Have you been on the show before?
I have not been on the new Congo Hours, so
I
I'm
was going
super
to say
psyched.
she's been on the
You've been
on the other one.
Yeah,
been
previously,
on.
way before COVID.
Like way before, like 10 years ago or something?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't even
Okay,
invite me
welcome
back?
back.
We're supposed to be
I
friends?
know, I'm sorry.
Thank God for Waynna.
I'm sorry. I don't want to fight. Not tonight, it's
Not
Sunday.
tonight.
Not on Sunday. Okay.
He said not on Sunday.
So what's going on?
I'm super happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Recently, back in March, I took a position with NerdIt Cares.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Not
So
just any position.
the executive director
Okay,
role.
come on now.
Right.
in our new location on 9th Street in Wilmington. So we're super excited about being in Wilmington and offering our services to the residents of Wilmington.
Okay. NerdIt Cares, who are you? Like, what do you?
Yep. So everyone knows NerdIt now, right? So NerdIt
Nope.
now. You don't know NerdIt now? Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
So you might be the only person in Delaware who doesn't know who
Okay,
NerdIt
so
now
break it
is,
down for
right?
me.
Right. So NerdIt now is the organization that was envisioned by Marquivas Gideon, who is the founder of the ecosystem. And Marquivas was a young black boy in high school, and a teacher said, "Here, play with this computer." And a whole world opened up for him. And he just had a massive desire to figure computers out, play with them, take them apart, put them back together. Fast forward, he went to college. He went to China. He talks about finding your China. And in China, he had a business. He was teaching folks how to speak English and had a couple of other businesses. Came back to the United States, found his old girlfriend, fell in love with her again, and said, maybe I should stay. He might have went back once or twice, but he ended up staying here after he re-engaged with his girlfriend, who's his now wife, Chris Gideon.
That's a beautiful story.
Isn't that a beautiful story? Yeah, it's a nice story. And when you ask him and talk to him, he talks about, emphatically, I was not leaving because I was not going to let her go again. So it's a wonderful story. And in that process, he started an organization called NerdIt Now that was intended to address the digital divide in the community.
Okay.
In that process, he learned rather quickly that he needed a workforce. So he had an idea, very premature again, the typical Amazon locker model. And he had an idea of creating a technology repair company in these lockers. He went out to Shark Tank, as many of us know, and the question is, did he get funded? He didn't get funded, which doesn't even matter in Shark Tank land, right? You just want to get on the show. The last episode ran yesterday, so when the episode runs, we get calls and all this wonderful stuff. While he didn't get funded, he was in a position to say, you know what, let me expand my offerings. You know, let me expand, let me find people who look like me, give them jobs. Then the concept kind of evolved, where these individuals who need a job needed to learn how to repair devices to do the work in the store. He had a store in Newport where he sold refurbished technology, refurbished equipment, and also repaired technology. And all of a sudden one day he goes, wait a minute, I have people working, I have folks repairing devices, I have a workforce program. I'm training people and giving people jobs. And one thing after another, right before COVID, he said, I should start a nonprofit organization. He called it NerdIt Cares. And that happened in 2018, full board operated in 2019, and COVID hit. And when COVID hit, many people, many students, many families realized they didn't have technology. And they didn't realize the importance of engaging with technology. It's the bridge of all things in our world now, right? Kids didn't have computers in school, schools didn't know what to do, corporations didn't know how to support their staff. So some of our corporate partners contributed a significant amount of funds to address the digital divide during COVID. And during that time, 10,000 devices were distributed throughout the community for free.
That's amazing.
Yeah, for free. So now, post-COVID, 10,000 throughout the communities. These are schools, community organizations, families who said, hey, I don't belong to anybody, but I need a computer, my son, my daughter. And now, so that was 2020, they did that through 2021, 2022. And in 2022, Marquivas realized there's a barrier. You know, we deal with people who are underserved from all backgrounds. You have these barriers that pop up that don't pop up for your traditional sectors. And the number one barrier was folks couldn't get to work on time. He was in Newport. So between the trolley square changes of the bus depot and all the things happening in Rodney Square, getting from Rodney Square or wherever to Newport created a challenge. That's when he decided to come back into Wilmington. And right now we're located on 9th Street, right on the corner of Orange. And now we've eliminated that barrier. And they started construction later part of 2022, finished construction in 2023, brought me on in March. We've been rock and rolling ever since.
Oh, good.
We've been rocking and rolling ever since.
Now, when you say 9th and Orange, that was the
old piano store. So for those from Delaware, and I don't want to even try to remember the name of the piano store because I actually have a picture of the actual piano store, which is a historic property, which is fascinating with our store, storefront. It's an old piano store back in the day. You might be thinking about the bar that might have been there after.
No, I wasn't thinking about the bar.
So not because you want to go to a bar, but because that's the last thing that was there. That's why, Trippi, don't start no stuff. What did you think it was?
I think I'm getting Orange and Shipley mixed up.
Okay.
That's what I think I'm doing.
Yeah, so we're 2 doors down from Wi-Fi, 1 door down from Fair Cafe.
Okay, all right. Okay, now I know where you are.
Okay, good. Come visit us. So folks come visit us all the time, and they pop in with their devices. They have old devices that are working, some aren't working, and they'll donate those to us. Right now we received 300 pieces of equipment from Shoe Middle. We have a wonderful, we call her our community angel, Kelly Green, who called me and said, I want to do fundraisers for you and I want to do drives for you, can I do that? And I said, well, how? Let's talk about how. And she presented an extremely professional, structured, well-detailed plan. And she's out in these streets, going to schools, creating school drives and getting children engaged in different type of drives than what they're typically accustomed to. So she just dropped off a $300 donation from Shoe Middle. And now we're working to repair those devices and identify what works and what doesn't work. Those that don't work will go into our classroom for hands-on instruction. So our academy, our Workforce Academy, provides instruction for 16 weeks. 3 different certifications and job placement. And right now we're at about an 87% job placement rate.
This is right up your alley, Jessica. I'm listening to everything you're saying, and because I know you, I'm like, this is right up her alley.
You know, one of the things about me since I've moved to Delaware 20-something years ago at this point is recognizing, I came from New York. I was born in New York. I was born in a very underserved community. And, you know, we had our challenges and we grew up in a very, very lean household. And I see what happened in my community. I was just fortunate to be smart and somebody say, I want to help you. I want to put you into an after school program. I want you to go to this high school that's very far away from your home and we're going to help pay for that. I could have been like anybody else in my community that didn't have an opportunity, didn't see past going to the corner store, not feeling comfortable engaging in environments that didn't look like me. And I was fortunate to have those experiences, but I only had those because someone saw something in me. I was a rough ghetto girl.
What? You said that you were?
I was.
Not anymore.
No, now I'm refined, structured, direct.
Okay.
Sincere, sincere and genuine. That's how come you love me.
That's how we do it.
Yep.
Sincere and genuine. I like
yes,
that.
Very sincere and genuine. And I'm an advocate, and I'm a strong advocate for those who deserve an opportunity, for those who are oftenly neglected, or those who have a tough time. You know, who just have a tough time. I was a single parent for a long time. And there were just opportunities that weren't available to me. You know, I probably made enough money to survive, but not enough money to get support. So it pushed me in a position where I had to grind. I was a single parent. And I had a drive and I had a tenacity. But sometimes the ills of our community limit that and paralyze that. And people wonder why, but you never wonder why if you're in those situations or have been in those situations. So when you say it's right up my alley is helping people be better, and whatever that means, and doing it with intention. And we are extremely intentional about all things barrier. So if you're in our program and you haven't eaten lunch, I wanna know why. If you're waiting outside for a ride, I wanna know why. If you've been wearing the same shirt or the same pants and it doesn't look like you've been able to change those often, I want to know why. And I don't want no details. I just want to know what you need so we can get that for you so that you can have a real experience, right? We had a young lady who was part of our cohort last year, and she waited for a ride all the time. I was like, why is she waiting outside? It turned out she was waiting for a ride from someone. So we were very intentional about helping her find a job that was close to home, because we knew that we can get her a job in Philadelphia, but it would be another reminder of her circumstance, right? So we found her a job in her community with one of our favorite employer partners, NerdIt Now. So NerdIt Now is part of our ecosystem. So we are a separate 501c3, but they're our cousins. So we do a lot of things together. And one of those is provide employment opportunities for our graduates to go into his organization over on Bauer Street.
So your program, let's talk about the program itself. Tell us about it.
So our NerdIt Academy, we offer 2 cohorts twice a year, the summer and the spring, the winter and the spring, and the 16 weeks. AM and PM sessions, so we do it 4 hours at a time, because many of our folks come to us who may have a job already. So there's a bunch of profiles. Like, who's a perfect profile? Well, there isn't a perfect profile because folks don't have perfect backgrounds, right? So we have the individual who's really trying to figure out life and tried school and tried a few things and it didn't work. And they love technology, like putting things together, to like fixing things. Then we have the individual who might be in the world of technology, but might not have been properly serviced in the work environment, may not have the right education, might have just landed in this IT space because they were there. They need additional certifications to be able to maintain those employments or expand those. Then we have, as a result of COVID, some individuals who've lost everything, lost their jobs. And these are 39, 40-year-olds that need to reinvent themselves. And we provide support to all of those individuals. So they come into our program. 16 weeks, our instructor, DJ, she does a phenomenal job of creating a really exciting, vibrant experience, because it's technology, it's hardware. Taking a computer apart, I don't think it's really fun and exciting, but they do. And when they open these computers, they get so excited. I get completely intimidated. I'm just like, those screws are too little for me. But they find the desire and find that passion that Marquivas found when he was at Howard High School. And somebody gave him a computer, and it's fascinating to watch, and to watch that evolution of growth and confidence. And that's what I'm here for. It's the confidence, it's the gratification. And as they're in their program, we've enhanced our programs that have come on board and added financial literacy. Because we know if you're in any type of transition, you got a budget, you got to prepare, you got to plan. We provide speaker series. You can talk to different people from different walks of life. We can have conversations about whatever it is that you're aspiring to do. And we've also included mock interviews. We want folks to be prepared when they go on interviews. And we're expanding our employer partner base, because our role is one thing, is to get you a job. That's it. We're solution focused and getting you a job. Some of our folks stay with us, get jobs, and it's all wonderful. Some say, I want to get some more training. That's when we call upon some partners like Code Differently. And we say, we have some folks who may want to continue. So we're all hardware. Code Differently does all software. So you get both of those. You're in a position to do some really cool stuff in the workplace. And if you're of color, you're get a couple of boxes checked. So we are very intentional about providing as many opportunities as possible so that this person can find their best place, whatever that place is. We're actually partnering with Wilmington Housing Authority. They were on here a few weeks ago.
They were, and I swear I was sitting here thinking about that. I said, but I didn't get permission to ask about it. But that's wonderful.
So we're working with the youthful folks that were here a few weeks ago, and they are dedicating funding and establishing a partnership with us for 2 cohorts for folks that are right in the city of Wilmington. And there's a lot of discussion about jobs in the city of Wilmington right now and workforce development opportunities. And this is a great solution or added value to provide very focused training for people that live in the city of Wilmington to get them jobs.
Very good. I have a laptop that I'm gonna talk to you about after this it's real slow. That's something they can do?
Yep, you should bring it in.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yep, you should bring it in.
So people can, besides from joining like one of the classes, one of the cohorts, they can also just bring some of their technology in to be fixed or upgraded.
So in our repair corner in the front of our business, we have a repair shop. So any type of device, whether it's phone, computer, tablet, a wearable, which is a watch, broken screens, not working properly, battery dies.
Can't turn your volume down.
All the things, keyboard's not working, I guess it's a challenge or something. All those things, you bring them into us, and we have a great team that's efficient and trained to be able to do that stuff effectively. And we're not a Best Buy. We're not an Apple store, so our cost margins are a lot different and a lot affordable, and we're very intentional about that. So if you don't have insurance on your phone, which happens in most underserved communities, and you go, we had a woman come to us, she dropped her screen, she lives in Wilmington, she goes to nursing school, and her screen was cracked, and it was bad cracked. And she goes, I went to Best Buy, they charged me $685. Our price, covering costs with a significant margin, was about $390. She was very happy to pay that $390 for that screen, opposed to paying almost $800 for that. And in many cases, we're able to do that in other areas as well. So we're very competitive with our prices, which is intentional. We want people to be able to have a functioning device so that it can provide the support that they're intended to provide.
What are your hours?
9 to 3, Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Yep.
So people can just stop in, or do they need appointments?
Nope, no appointments necessary.
Okay.
Typically, we'll have folks come in, and if it requires a little bit more work, we may set up an appointment to maybe sit down and kind of go through with you what's happening. We just stop in, and we have folks that stop in all the time. We had a gentleman who came in, and his device was old. I mean, I don't know how this device is even working. And his K was pressing a J, and the G was an R. And he was like, can you fix it? And we said no. And he was devastated. I said, I'm gonna give you another one.
Oh, wow.
So in some of those cases,
I was like, what?
it was old. It was just not worth repairing. And if we put a new keyboard in, it's not going to be compatible to the system that's in there. I'm learning a lot of stuff about it. My friends are like, listen to you. I'm learning a lot. I'm really leaning in on this environment. It's just really awesome and exciting. So we gave him one. You know, part of our community give back and our community support, we gave him one. It wasn't a brand new computer. It was better than what he had, and he was very, very appreciative. Nathaniel. So Nathaniel, if you're watching, we really appreciate you coming, and he comes in often.
Good. If someone wanted to contact you instead of just popping in.
Sure. So if they want to contact me, I'm J Gibson, Gibson at NerdItCares.org, and we're on 9th Street, and I'm located on 9th Street in Orange. But I do want to plug one thing that we're having. You talked about it a little bit earlier.
Okay.
So we just announced a Save the Date event for December 14th. We are having our first NerdIt Cares Jingle Jam, which is going to serve as a holiday fundraiser. And I'm hoping that Sir President Congo will participate in our guest bartending list. And it's an opportunity for us to have some fun. You know, we've all gone through a lot. My staff and my team, our whole ecosystem's been evolving for so many years. And we want to get people to think about us when they're thinking about their end of the year contributions. And when they're thinking about how do I support people? I had a gentleman say to me, I will support you on the strength of you providing people jobs, so I don't have to see homeless people on the street. So we want to have this fundraiser. We want to have a lot of fun. We're going to have Santa Clauses. We're going to have some good music. Obviously, we'll be at Blitzen, the Christmas bar, so it's really exciting. We want to get people to think about us in a different way and see the evolution of what we're doing. And folks can bring their devices also to this event.
All right.
And donate them as well.
And that's on December 14th.
December 14th from 5 to 9:30 at Blitzen Bar, which is 2 doors down from us on 9th Street.
Okay. All right. Do you already have a Santa Claus? Because my dad is here. You know, he might want to.
Listen, that might be fun. We should talk about
Speaking of your dad,
volunteering. I'm not sure if that's something they want to do. I'm happy to talk to Mr. Congo. I think that'll be super fun and really, really exciting.
All right.
I'll fight you.
All right, Jess. Well, thank you. Anything else you want to?
No, we're just happy to be
before?
here and service the community. And anyone who's watching who might say, I wonder if that's an idea, something I should think about. I'm not sure. I might be a little afraid. I need a job. I got to figure things out. Call us. So let's talk about that. We have a open door policy. We'll talk to folks about anything. Our application is fairly simple. And we're actively recruiting right now.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Anything else?
I think that's it. Thank you, Jess.
Good. Thank you for having me.
Don't stay away for years.
you.
Again.
I don't want to stay away from years. I'm willing to
Okay.
come on every quarter if you let me.
Okay.
You got it.
Thank you.
And bring some
See you next
students.
quarter.
Maybe bring some former students or current
We would
students.
love to. I was trying to bring my instructor, and she's probably going to watch, but she's just like, she said, you're not going to have me talk and embarrass myself on national TV.
She's a national.
national.
That's
right.
right. That's right.
She knows.
We're a national
She
woman
knows.
together on TV.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break.
Yes.
And then we'll be right back
With my
Sam's
favorite
Corner.
part of the show.
All right.
Government doesn't make a move without an agenda, some type of plan. The problem is we haven't been on the agenda. Sometimes we're overlooked. Sometimes our interests aren't the interest of those in power. I'm your host, Kerwin Gaines, on DETV's new show, The Agenda. We're going to do our best to ensure that you, Delawareans, are knowledgeable about what's going on in the Assembly. Federal government, local government, it doesn't matter. We're going to do our best to ensure that folks that make the agenda on a daily basis have to answer for it. Let them explain what they're doing. If it affects you, it's on the agenda.
Welcome back to the Congo Hour. I tell you, during our break, I love it. Gotta
boy.
love it. So
Gotta love him.
earlier, Trippi said, speaking about Mimi, and I was a little nervous to share the news because I didn't get permission to, not knowing that it's already all over social media. So
right.
my son Hunter, who is known as DJ Blair, and his beautiful girlfriend Brittany is expecting a girl.
All right.
And this
Congrats.
is Hunter's first baby.
I know. So congratulations to Hunter and Blair. No, not Blair. What's her name?
Brittany.
Brittany.
Hunter is Hunter Blair.
Congratulations to Hunter and Brittany, and congratulations to your whole family, Mimi.
Thank you.
Yeah, having a girl. I think you said when? Well, you said
April 30th
April.
is
Okay.
the
All right.
due date, but you know,
All right,
we'll see.
yeah. Shout out to
Yeah.
Hunter and Britt.
Yes. You ready for my favorite part
I
of the
am.
show?
I
Is he
am.
ready?
Hopefully by now he is. just had some technical difficulties.
Mr. C, what we gonna do with Trippi?
While we were off air, but he is mic'd up.
What you gonna do with him?
Mic'd up and ready now.
You love him to life, so what ain't nothing you gonna do. Mr. C, I was really excited to see you walk through those doors.
You know, Waynna, I am excited to be on this show tonight. On Monday, I was so uplifted to see a community response. Mm-hmm. And it's not normal to have a council meeting where the community really does what they did. Mm-hmm. You know, it seems to me that I've learned so much. I wake up every morning to learn. I'm a learner now. I realize how important it is to learn, and to know difference. Difference is very important, and wisdom allows you to understand difference. And so I try to acquire the kind of wisdom every day to help me to learn difference. And difference makes all the
difference in the world.
Everything in the world depends on which way you go.
Yeah.
And what affects you is based on the difference. Mm-hmm. And so what I saw on my little computer on Monday was there was definitely a difference in what the community thought of the concern that everyone had and what the council thought. And it made me realize that somewhere there is a lack of communications between the city council people who represented their certain district and some of the opinions and the way they vote and what the community wants. Mm-hmm. So on Monday, or even last week on Thursday, it was clear that there was a difference. And if the city council has the wisdom that I would hope that they would have, they would understand that that difference is going to determine whether they return again. And they made it clear that they were not satisfied with the decisions that some city council people made. And so it made me begin to understand why so many people have lost confidence in politics. Mm-hmm. Because they were angry, and very angry that they had made some decisions that they were not a part of the process.
Right.
And so I guess, Trippi, you can help me out a little bit because...
So I think you put it very nicely when you said lack of communication, because there was definitely not a lack of communication between the public and council members around. And what we're talking about is residency. And either, if we're going to eliminate residency or if we're going to continue residency. And what that is that if someone works for the city of Wilmington, they have to live in the city of Wilmington for 5 years and then they can move. If they don't currently live in the city and they're hired by the city of Wilmington, they have to move into the city within 6 months and then stay for 5 years and then they can move. So the administration, so there was a law that first residency was as long as you work, years ago, as long as you work for the city, you had to live in the city. Mm-hmm. Then I think it was 20 years, and I think it was brought down to maybe 12, and now it's 5. The administration sought to eliminate residency. And their reasoning is because there was a staffing crisis, and they had to have a bigger pool of applicants. So they wanted to eliminate the residency requirement. So in other words, people could live anywhere, work for the city, and then city services would be where they're supposed to be. Like the constituents, the residents who live in the city would receive the services that they're paying for. Right now, there are about 110 vacancies out of, I think the city employs a little over 1,000. So the administration, the mayor wanted to eliminate residency there so they could hire people, those people could fill those positions, and then constituent services or resident services would be on par. So Dover gave the city the ability to come up with our own residency requirements. So before, Dover kind of ruled over the city and said, you have to live in the city for 5 years. Dover said, okay, we're gonna let you kind of govern yourselves. We're gonna let you be sovereign and govern yourselves and come up with your own residency requirements. The mayor and his city solicitor took that as, once they gave us that ability to do that, that it erased residency, which doesn't make sense to a lot of people. It just gave us the ability to make residency whatever we wanted it to be. It didn't eliminate it, it just said that you can make it whatever you want it to be. So fast forward, we've had a couple of meetings around if we're going to get rid of residency, if we're going to keep it. So that's what the residents, the community showed up. For the last 2 meetings where residency was discussed on the agenda have been the most community public comments that I've been a part of since I've been on council, and that's been 16 years. So I was extremely happy, like you said, Dad, that the community really showed up because this was an extremely important issue. The first meeting, we had about 3.5, almost 4 hours of public comment and probably about 80 speakers at a minimum from those who were in council chambers, and they also have the ability to talk virtually on Zoom. Out of all of those 80 plus speakers, there were four speakers, there were 4 people from the community who gave public comment that sided with the administration and wanted to get rid of residency.
And they were all?
There were 3 police officers and a police aide. Everybody else wanted to make sure that residency stayed intact. Therefore, giving Wilmingtonians, people who live here, who want to live here, the opportunity to have these city jobs. The second meeting, which we had last Monday, which one you're talking about, we had 4 hours of public comment. Every single person who spoke was in favor of residency. No one in council chambers gave a public comment and wanted to get rid of residency. No one virtually, and that says a lot.
Right.
That says a lot that no one virtually who was, in the comfort of their own home, wherever they weren't in council chambers, no one virtually supported getting rid of residency. And like you said, people were extremely passionate, angry, because it's bigger than, to me and to a lot of people, it's bigger than residency, and it's bigger than the jobs. It's a lot bigger than we can talk about that a little later in the show. But they showed up, and they let us. This was the first time again on council that we've had 2 pieces of legislation that we were discussing before it goes to a full count, and both of them were about residency. Councilmember Bracy she introduced a piece. She had a piece of legislation that said that she wanted to eliminate residency. Councilmember Darby had a piece of legislation that we were going to discuss and vote out of committee that she wanted to keep residency at 5 years. First time that ever happened. Same, pretty much the same legislation, but it's 2 different options. But like you said, the community showed up and they were passionate, and it worked because they changed council members' minds, and council members were wise enough to not all of them, like you said, that was very disappointing, that we can have almost 8 hours of public comment and have 4 people who were in favor of ending residency. And everybody else, probably well over 100 people said that, we want residency, and council members still did not understand and still did not follow the lead of the community, which we're supposed to do. Like, we're voted to be the voice of the people. And the people showed up, and council members were still stuck on trying to follow the administration.
You know what, if I may, the one comment that really got me was when a council person said that he had spoken to his constituents and they wanted it to be gone.
They wanted residency to be eliminated. Right.
And his neighbor, his next door neighbor, got up and spoke and said, keep it.
Right.
I just thought that was crazy to me. The neighbor of the council person said that he wanted residency to stay after that council person said that he spoke to his constituents. And this was his next door neighbor. So it was like, who did you speak to?
And another council member who was virtual got on there and said he reached out to at least 40 of his constituents. And they said that they were in favor of eliminating residency, which is hard to believe, honestly, because I think it's all in how you present it. And that community, we're talking about the 8th district, that community shows up historically. They show up. Like, they know the importance of local politics, and they show up when something is when something is important to them. They show up to civic association meetings, they'll come to committee meetings, they'll come to city council meetings. They understand. They understand the importance of showing up, and they didn't show up, and they didn't. So that's very telling to me that they didn't show up, even virtually. They didn't call in to say, no, we want to get rid of residency, even though their council person who represents them said that they did. But that's hard for me to believe. I don't want to call anybody a liar, but that's hard for me to believe that
it's
they
stretching
didn't.
The truth.
That they didn't. It helps. It makes me wonder how it was presented to them, because you can present it in a way that says, "Hey, we're having these staffing shortages. We want to make sure that you're receiving all of the services that you're paying for with your city taxes, and we can't find people to work. So of course, you tell me that. Okay, we need to get rid of it. If we can't find people who are living in Wilmington, we need to find out who can work. We need to find them and get them to work so I can have my trash picked up, so I can get all my city services that I'm paying for. But if you tell the bigger story and let them decide on their own, I don't think that happened. I would be very surprised if that happened, because they historically show up. And they, more than any other community in the city of Wilmington, they show up. And so, like, the bigger truth to me is that the city of Wilmington has 110 vacancies, but they've only advertised 15. So that says a lot. The bigger truth to me is that they've only advertised, like, on a website, and how many people really go to the city of Wilmington's website. They've had some job fairs, but how was that even advertised?
Right.
I don't think that we have done enough to make sure that the community knows that we have jobs available. Now they know, because council is pushing back, and council has made it newsworthy. So everybody is writing about it now, and people who showed up to that meeting say, I didn't know, but I can do this and I can do that, hire me.
Right.
So that's very telling, that people who came said, I know people, or I myself am willing to work for the city.
Val said at 8 years old, she was a crossing guard.
Right. So I think if you tell the complete story, it makes for a better conversation around residency. But if you go in and it's one-sided on either way, I think that's doing our community an injustice. But if you tell the complete story and you put everything on the table and you listen to the people who show up, like we're paid to do, like we were elected to do, I don't see how any council member is able to sit through those meetings, whether virtual or in council chambers, and not side with the community who showed up And that was very, very disappointing to me. That was probably the biggest, one of the biggest disappointments that I've had on city council since I've been on, that many people showed up consecutively and council members still had their boots dug in the ground saying, no, this is what I want. And that's exactly what they were saying, this is what I want. This isn't what the people who I represent want. So that's very, very disappointing.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think that...
But I'm sorry, Dad, but thankfully, like I said, it worked because Council Member Johnson at first was not in favor of residency, but he heard the community. He heard their passion, he heard their anger, he heard their concerns, so he voted on our side to at least let full council vote on it. So it does work. It was disappointing because I don't understand how everybody couldn't be on board with this piece of legislation, but it did work because now this Thursday we are going to vote for it before full council at 6:30 this Thursday. So make sure that you come out this Thursday. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But go ahead, Dad.
No, I guess even greater than residency to me, the fact that the council who did not vote for who came out said they wanted should feel guilty of not representing their community.
They have to. I don't see how they can't.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's because
they began to be dictators in saying that I'm on council because I want to represent me. And I think that when that happens, we lose the enthusiasm of the community to be a part of the process.
right.
And when you lose that, you don't get community to follow whatever necessary guidelines to govern. And so governing is a part of the responsibilities of each council person.
Right.
And so through the process of all of you kind of sitting down saying, and I guess that's where I watch in the U.S. Congress people that say, we go on the other side of the aisle. So I think that all of you need to not understand and line up all the facts and say, if this is a fact, this is a fact, this is a fact, this is a fact, and let's say the 8th district did not want residency,
Right.
but 7 or 11 districts did.
7.
Huh?
7.
7 districts did. Then, you know, you have to balance that and follow the what the community wants,
Right.
not what
majority wants.
influence has made you want to do this based on politics.
Right.
And so I guess someone kind of made it clear when I was listening that they said, we will make sure that you aren't reelected because you haven't followed the guidelines.
Right, and that's all.
Right.
That's what we do. Like we're a voice for people who we represent. So if you have a district, there are 8 districts, like you were talking about. If you have a district, you're supposed to follow the voice of that district. If you're at large, we have 4 at-large members plus me as the president. You're supposed to follow what the majority of the community wants.
Say yes,
So
particularly at large.
Right. So it's just, and I'm still waiting for a valid reason. If any council member, if anyone can give me a valid reason why we should eliminate residency, we can have a conversation about it. But I haven't heard one yet. I haven't heard one because what you're saying is that the talent isn't here in Wilmington, but we have to expand our borders so that we can hire people. But the talent is here, and Wilmington has a 6% unemployment rate. Newcastle has a 4%. So why would we take from Wilmingtonians and open it up to
Right.
a community of 500,000 people when there are people here who want to work and are qualified to work. And we had a presentation that somebody gave us a couple weeks ago. They said that zip code 19801 is one of the poorest 50 zip codes in the entire country. Why wouldn't we take that opportunity to train people in that zip code so they can be prepared for the types of jobs that the city is offering? I don't know. I can't figure it out. For every argument that someone has tried to talk to me about as for a reason in eliminating residency, I just have facts
Right.
that say that we have to keep it.
Yeah.
So
You mentioned, Trippi, that you want them to know. It was also said that a lot of council people have social media and TV shows and things of that sort to promote what they want. So here on the Congo Hour, we've never not allowed anybody to come on. If anybody is interested in coming on to share with the community why you decided on the side that you decided on.
Right.
So,
I think that would be a healthy conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will because I don't think anybody will because the facts speak for themselves. And another something else that people bring up is police officers. So they're saying that in this last academy, only 7 police officers only 7 people are qualified to be in the academy, probably the fewest ever. That's not a Wilmington problem. That's not strictly a Wilmington problem.
Oh, no.
That's a county problem. That's a state problem because I did my research and I talked to people and officers in the county. I talked to officers in the state. They say that they are experiencing the same type of deficiencies when it comes to qualified people to be in the academy. And I get it, but if people don't want to be a county officer, why do we think that opening up our pool to the county would make a difference when the county is going to pay more than the city? The county is given a $25,000 signing bonus. The city isn't. So you live in the county, but why would you want to work for the city when it's a more dangerous job?
right.
You're going to get less money. It doesn't make sense. Like the numbers don't make sense. Same thing for the state. The state used to get, I think it was 3,000 applicants. A state of 1 million people used to get 3,000 applicants for like 30 jobs. Now they get like 300. Same thing with the county. The last 2 county academies had one had like 5 people, one had 11. So it's not what they're trying to make it seem it is. It's the police departments need to recreate who they are and how they're seen in the community. And that's when I think
true.
people will be more willing to sign up to be police officers, because who's going to want to be a police officer with the kind of reputation? And I'm not getting on here to bash police. I've always been a supporter of the police, but they have to do some soul searching as a department to figure out how they can present themselves better to a community so that the community wants to be a part of who they are. But again, this Thursday, so last week it was in a committee, so we had to vote it out of committee. So thankfully, Sinead Councilmember Darby's legislation got voted out of committee, only 4 votes to 3, which was crazy, but it got voted out. This Thursday, we are voting in our council meeting before all of council on whether on her piece of legislation that says residency will remain at 5 years. She has some other awesome
I hope they
points
all
in there
show
too.
up in person.
Right, very true. But we need the community to show up again. I know we've been asking a lot of the community, and they have responded. But we need you one more time. We need you to show up, come early, be there. I would say the meeting starts at 6:30. I would say try to be there between 5:30 and 6 so you can speak. You can sign up for public comment. If you're going to be virtual, just try to sign on by 6:15. I'll be presiding over that meeting. I'm going to let everybody speak. You have 3 minutes, so please try to keep your comments within 3 minutes. But we need for you to show up again to make sure that council members who don't understand, somehow they don't understand yet, but who don't understand yet how important it is that we have to follow your voice, help them to understand that they need to follow your voice on this Thursday and vote in Councilmember Darby's legislation to continue residency for the city of Wilmington. So again, this Thursday at the City County Building, 800 North French Street. Try to be there early, between 5:30 and 6. The meeting starts at 6:30. Again, if you can't make it, just call us at 302-576-2140. Again, our number is 302-576-2140, and you can get directions on how you can sign up virtually.
All right.
That.
Well, this is really bigger than what it appears to be.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the big things that's I guess, grinding into our community is being pushed aside. Mm-hmm. And when we say there are no qualified people,
right,
then you're pushing that people aside instead of preparing them to be a part of the community and a part of the process.
Right.
This is bigger. We are losing confidence from our people. And so if we realize that we're creating crime and slums and everything, that if you aren't employed, if you aren't a part of the process, you're part of the problem.
Right.
And then we will have problems as a result of this crazy attempt to ignore, to not allow folk to be a part of the community in which they live. And anyone who is allowed to come into this community and not have value for the community to live in it, I think that's a crazy, crazy rule.
I'm gonna give you one quick example how they are playing on people's emotions and their feelings. They're saying that we need sanitation workers, and if we don't get sanitation workers, your trash isn't gonna get picked up on time, or might not get picked up at all, or you might get picked up days later. But the city has advertised for 2 sanitation workers. They're short 2 sanitation workers, according to what they have put out. So you mean to tell me they can't find 2 people to be sanitation workers? But that's the story they run with, because that works on somebody's emotion. Like, I want my trash picked up. But your trash can't be picked up. The city can't find 2 people. It's almost the same thing like they're doing with the police academy. They're trying to instill that fear factor when it's just the furthest thing from the truth, because I talked about this before, that the city of Wilmington, like per capita for our size, we have one of the biggest police departments in the entire country. Over 300 police officers. It's hard to believe because I don't want to talk about that right now. That's another conversation. It is, but I just don't want people to be misled by some of the buzzwords or some of the attempts to create that fear. I think that's extremely unfair. But they are giving us the signal to wrap up. So again, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you, Dad, for coming. And next time we're gonna get that scale out. And right. I didn't like that. Whoa, I didn't like that. Right. But listen, we hope that we see you this Thursday, 800 North French Street, at our city council meeting. Try to get there between 5:30 and 6. Meeting starts at 6:30. If you can't join us in chamber, please try to join us virtually and get your public comments heard. Wherever, either side you're on.
Right.
I'm not asking for people who are just in favor of what I'm in favor of to show up. I'm asking for everybody to show up. All right.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next week, God willing.
All right.
All
Good
right.
night, everyone.